Go. And here we go, we're back live again for race number 27 of 29 in the 1988 Throwbacks. My goodness, we've had an amazing run thus far. We've only got 3 races left here in 1988. This is just going to be a phenomenal run to the points championship. Richmond is only 48 points down on Dale Earnhardt. 91 points back is Wallace. Any of these 3 drivers can go ahead and win this championship. It might be tough, but anything can happen. We'll see what happens here, folks. Rockingham is typically one of those tough, hard-nosed tracks. Who gets the pole? Bill Elliott. Elliott on the pole. How about that? Ooh, we might get a really good race going here. Good Lord. Look at this qualifying order. So we've got Bill Elliott on the pole, Dale Earnhardt in second, Rusty Wallace third, Ricky Rudd fourth, Tim Richmond fifth, and Terry Labonte sixth, Phil Parsons seventh, Davey Allison 8th. Cale Yarbrough in his final ever race here at the Rock will be starting in 9th. And in 10th, Darrell Waltrip. Man, this is...
Drivers, start your engine!
And there's the command. Everyone gets off smoothly. And we'll see what happens. 123 laps around this just a little more than 1 mile oval. They come off of turn 4, come down to the line. And the green flag is out. Here we go. Looks like Wallace is going to pick up second place early on. Third is going to go to Tim Richmond. Elliott's going to keep the lead for now. We have a flyby of the field as the stream freezes. Elliott comes down. He's going to lead lap number 1 here from Rockingham. Rusty Wallace, he's looking around, and we've already got a yellow flag. Yellow flag is out here on lap number 2. It's still raced back to the line. Wallace looking for a way around the 9 car, can't quite find it. And the yellow flag will come out as we've got Brad Teague on his roof. And oh boy, a bunch of people just start wrecking out of nowhere down the front straightaway. And there, Teague just flipped over from turning onto the banking. And man, that's just an awful chain reaction accident going on there. Tons of drivers involved. Look at this. It looked like the 2 Petties got together. And man, there was just nobody that fared well from the accident at all. Not a single person. Everyone comes down pit... Well, not everyone, but a majority of the lead lap cars are going to come down pit road here. It looks like it's just going to be quick gas and goes. Earnhardt will lead the pack out in first. So Rockingham right now. Two more laps of yellow. Looks like Derek Cope and Brad Teague are out. A lot of people involved in that accident, but it looks like most of the people are going to survive to stay out on the track despite all the people involved. The 4 car is still out there. He's still going to be turning laps. You can see all the injured cars from the one wreck. Rockingham is one of the tracks here in NASCAR that utilizes a back straightaway pit road. The other ones being Bristol, Martinsville, and Darlington. So back straightaway pit roads still used. And lights are now off on the pace car. About to get back going green here. As my phone freezes up for the 20 millionth and a half time. And it continues to give me problems. Anyways, we're going back green. Green flag's back underway here from Rockingham. Elliott's going to continue leading the field. And man, he is going to take right off. Elliott wasting no time at all. So there you go. Elliott's going to go to the lead. We've got Phil Parsons. He's still in second place. He's going to slide up the track. Here comes Cale Yarborough. He's going to take the second position. Bobby Ellison's still down low. He's going to try to take third. See if he can get there. It looks like... yeah, it looks like he should be able to. He's not going to get any kind of a run off this corner, though. That should allow Phil Parsons to have an advantage. Not quite. And Bobby Allison will move into third. This is Allison's last race here at Rockingham. The last time you'll ever see him at this track. Meanwhile, there will be plenty more appearances by this guy, Rusty Wallace. One of the 3 people racing for a championship. 3 races left. Every point matters. Right now this race is all Bill Elliott. And he is just driving away here at the front. Meanwhile, Wallace, he's going to slip underneath the 29 of Cale Yarborough, and Rusty Wallace is going to overtake the second position. So Rusty Wallace into second. Well, I imagine that's got to be working really well for Wallace right now. Right now, Richmond is not doing well. He's in 16th. Wow, Tim Richmond is really stuck back here. I don't know if he got stuck back on the restart, got aboard the wayback train on the restart, or something went wrong on the 25. And he's got a lot of ground to make up. Usually that ground is not easily made up. He's going to zoom by Kowicki here as he's just absolutely scrambling to get to the top 10. Meanwhile, Wallace, he's trying to run down the number 9 of Elliott for the lead. Rusty Wallace picked up his first career win at this track earlier this year. He's gotten 6 more since then. He would love to get his 8th career win here today at this track and tie for the record for the most amount of wins in the Throwbacks, tying Bill Elliott and Darrell Waltrip with 8. No, not Darrell Waltrip, Dale Earnhardt, excuse me. Earnhardt having 8 wins in 1986. Bill Elliott had 8 wins when he won his championship in 1984. Will Wallace have 8 wins en route to a championship in 1988? Of course, there's a lot more layers than that. He's got a lot of ground to make up on Dale Earnhardt. Coming into this race, Dale Earnhardt has the points lead. Tim Richmond, 48 points behind Dale Earnhardt. And Rusty Wallace, 91 points behind Earnhardt. And it looks like Wallace is definitely reeling in this 9 car. Wallace definitely has a very strong car today. Elliott put it on the pole, but it looks like Wallace just has a little bit better of a car. Man, if we could see Wallace reel him all the way back in, that'll be something else. And again, this is usually a long race. We just got done with 2 races that typically have a ton of yellow flags. These next 3 races, I doubt we're going to see many of them. Again, Rockingham, typically a clean race. Typically a race where we see 1 pit stop and a green flag run all the way through. Of course, we got the 1 yellow flag. But it's typically a track where we see a green flag race all the way through. Yup. Wallace is running down Bill Elliott. Look at this. And I mean, you want to talk about a driver that is on fire. You want to talk about somebody who's driving like a man possessed. Right now, give that moniker to the number 27, Rusty Wallace. And now lap traffic, the ultimate judgment. And here comes Wallace. Elliott gets hung up behind Jimmy Means and Kyle Petty. I say they both got hung up behind Jimmy Means and Kyle Petty. And look at this move by Elliott. He shoots the middle. Wow. Elliott shoots the middle. And now Wallace, he's going to try to get underneath Jimmy Means entirely. Means not giving him any ground. Good Lord. We got a car that's slow and smoking on the apron. It's the 10! And Wallace is going to go into the wall! Oh, good Lord. Wallace involved in that accident. And Earnhardt gets turned into the wall with Bobby Allison. That did not look as bad, though. That 27 car is beat up. Ken Bouchard just randomly merged back onto the track. There was nothing they could do. Now, it looked like something broke on the 10 car. He just lost his steering or something. I'm not sure what. But he just hooked a hard right back onto the racetrack and right in front of the 27 of Wallace. There was absolutely nothing that they could do. Good Lord. And Earnhardt also got turned into the wall. Though his car looks relatively unaffected. You take a look at the car and it looks like he barely had any damage to it. The 27's gone behind the wall. Oh my good lord. You can count Rusty Wallace out of the championship because of Ken Bouchard. A broken axle, a flat tire, or something. Maybe a broken steering column. I'm not sure what happened to Ken Bouchard. He had no business doing that. Earnhardt's going to get back out, but he's going to be way, way, way behind. All of a sudden, take a look at who has a giant grin on his face. Ha ha ha! Mr. Hollywood, Tim Richmond! Good lord, he's gotta be grinning ear to ear right now. Wallace is just brought it behind the wall. That's it for him. Yup. And Earnhardt also got a significant piece of the wall during that accident. Who knows if he's even going to be on pace. He's going to restart 20th. All of a sudden, Tim Richmond is looking unbelievably good right now. Just like that. Just like that, in an instant. A snap of the fingers. A wave of the wand. That's all it took. And all of a sudden, this championship race is completely different. You know, Wallace chokes during the late season, getting 2 DNFs in 3 races. Honestly, that wasn't his fault at all. Something broke on Ken Bouchard's car. He merged up. Nowhere for Jimmy Means and Rusty Wallace to go. They just plowed right into him. Awful. Just an awful turn of events. And terrible, terrible luck for the 27 crew. They're certainly going to try again next year, and I would honestly be surprised if Wallace does not turn out to have a championship winning season next year. They fought valiantly throughout this entire season, and ultimately that team, it's only a second, it's only a third-year team. And despite a valiant effort, they just barely weren't good enough. Pace car turns off into pit road. Your leader is still Bill Elliott. He's led every lap today. Green flag is out here on lap number 26. And Ken Schrader's going to hold up everybody, so that's going to allow the leaders to go. Ken Schrader's still holding up everybody. Now Tim Richmond's just thinking, how am I going to get around these guys? I think Hillen's going to let him go, and indeed he does. Hillen lets him go. Battle for second place. Elliott way out in front. Wow. Is anyone going to catch Bill Elliott? Whoa! 88, 97 and hard into the wall. That'll bring the caution back out, no doubt about it. Meanwhile, Earnhardt worked his way up to 10th. He's still got speed. Oh boy. Is anyone going to challenge Bill Elliott today? Right now, the answer is absolutely not. Yeah, no one's going to challenge Elliott today, no doubt about it. Here we go. We're going to get some green flag, yellow flag pit stops, rather. See what happens. Oh, Earnhardt and Richmond gets together on pit road. Wow. Bad luck for all three of the points leaders in this race. You know, this trend keeps on developing. You want to know who's going to have a really big smirk at the end of this race is going to be Bill Elliott. I don't think anybody's going to touch him today. He might end up being the first person in a very long time to end up leading every single lap in a race. Yeah, I think the last time that happened was in Riverside in 1985 when Darrell Waltrip got into the lead and just literally took off. And this is a track to see it at. I mean, we've seen very close happenings of this. We've seen Dale Earnhardt lead all but one lap at this track before, and I think that was also in '86. Was indeed in '86. But we've never seen the perfection, a shutout 123 out of 123. And right now, Elliott looks like he's going to be doing that today. Nobody has come close to touching him. Oh boy. Get ready for a high-intensity restart, folks. What would be a race at Rockingham without drama? I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. Here we go. The lights are off on the pace car. Your top 10 is Bill Elliott, Terry Labonte, Ricky Rudd, Phil Parsons, Darrell Waltrip, Cale Yarborough, Mark Martin, Dave Marcus, Bobby Allison, and Brett Bodine, actually being the better of the two Bodines today. They come down to the line. Green flag is back in the air. Hillen is going to give the assist to Bill Elliott again, and watch this 9 car take off. Wow. You want to see the literal definition of somebody going out there and putting a dominating performance on. Look at the gap that Elliott's already established. In fact, I think he got a terrible run off that corner. I think you might have jinxed him. Here comes Terry Labonte to the inside. Can he make a pass? Can Ricky Rudd show anything? No, he can't make the pass. Elliott just completely blocked him from doing so. Wow. That 9 car is crazy fast. We have not seen Elliott this fast on a dominating scale, I think, since 1984. You know, back in 1984 when he was the dominating car, you see this 9 car get to the lead, he was gone. And we're seeing much of the same here today. He's getting into the lead and just gapping everybody. Terry Labonte's holding on tightly to second place, no doubt about that, but he's just going out there and gapping people. Meanwhile, Tim Richmond is in 21st for some reason. He must have re-hit pit road to fix the damage that happened during that T-bone. You can see that he's really stuck here. Just terrible luck. Really good luck in the case of Dale Earnhardt, no doubt about that. He's had phenomenal luck. Meanwhile, kiss Elliott goodbye. He's way out. Nobody's touching him. Nobody is touching him at all. Man. We're seeing this top 10. I don't think Earnhardt has the same speed. There's no way. He's out here running 143 miles an hour. Does Earnhardt have the same speed he had before? Oh, there's 146. Leader's pace is also 146, so yeah, Earnhardt's got the pace. Never mind, Earnhardt definitely has the speed he had before. Does Richmond have the speed that he had before? Can he run with Elliott? Take a look. There's a 145, not quite a 146. Meanwhile, Elliott is just out here to dominate, clearly. He's just way out in front. Yeah, Elliott is not here to mess around. He is here to make a statement, clearly, and he's just gone out here and he has done an amazing job. I just can't believe that he's done this. This is crazy. We have not seen Bill Elliott this good in almost 5 years. Yeah. I'll say this again. Elliott during 1984, that was just something else to see. If you want to see somebody go out and dominate a race, this was Bill Elliott in 1984. Step up. He's your candidate. He literally ran roughshod. The only thing that was stopping him from winning a race in that season was some kind of accident. That was plain it. There was nobody stopping Bill Elliott during that 1984 season. And he rightfully won the championship from the season that he absolutely dominated. Something I need to note here is that Darrell Waltrip, he's done a fantastic job here not letting Bill Elliott get out too far. Alright, fair enough, fair enough. Right now, though, you want to start talking about points championship. Well, let's start talking about that right now. Because Dale Earnhardt is currently ahead of Tim Richmond by 2 positions. But the difference, well, neither of these guys have led a lap yet. That's something to think about. Now, they have a 1 position difference against each other. And where they are right now, there's a 4-point difference between the 2 positions. So right now Earnhardt will be 52 points ahead of Tim Richmond if this race were to end right now. So that's how they are. And here you can see Elliott getting held up a little bit by lap traffic. Something you definitely need to take into consideration at this track, no doubt. Here I think Earnhardt got held up a little bit by traffic. Yup. Richmond right now has one and only one objective, and that is to get in front of Dale Earnhardt. He cannot slack off here. He cannot stay behind. He absolutely has to get in front of Dale Earnhardt here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's 2 seconds down on Earnhardt though, so there's really nothing that you can do. And here Earnhardt's catching more drivers. Yep. He won't be in clean air, which may help Richmond pull the gap in a little bit. But then Richmond will get into the dirty air, and he's going to lose that. He's going to lose the pace right back to Earnhardt. Richmond coming up off of turn 4 here, we can see that the gap is around 2 seconds between these two drivers. And that just can't continue to happen. Richmond has to reel in Earnhardt. If Richmond wants any hope of winning the championship. Right now there's a 56-point gap between Earnhardt and Richmond. And right now there's also a 3.5 second gap at the lead for Bill Elliott. And now we've got an entire cluster of cars here. Some slow, some fast. Oh! Earnhardt! They saved it! Wow. Kyle Petty went into the wall a little bit there, but Earnhardt gets nailed in the side. You can clearly see it. That side is dented in too. Earnhardt just got nailed in the side, pretty much sideswiped on the verge of T-boning there. You gotta imagine that this repetitive abuse is eventually gonna slow down that 3 car. Richmond looking for any way to get around Larry Pearson here. Maybe that abuse is starting to take a toll on Dale Earnhardt because he just got passed by Sterling Marlin. Maybe Larry Pearson isn't getting out of the way of Tim Richmond here. There we go. So now he goes. Man. $56 points is still the gap between Richmond and Earnhardt. He needs to get around Yarborough here to cut the gap down to 52 points. See if he can get there. Indeed, he will. The gap is now cut back down. 52 points between the two drivers. And the gap between the two has also been cut down significantly. Bobby Hillin Jr. getting in Earnhardt's way. That'll help Richmond. That'll help Richmond a lot. As long as Richmond doesn't also get stuck behind Bobby Hillin. which I'm having a hard time seeing that he will. Yellow flag is out, I think. No, that's not the pace car coming out. That's Chef Bodine. Okay. That was Chef Bodine coming out of pit road. Now, if he can get in front of Dale Earnhardt, that will cut the points lead down to 44 points. And we can pretty much write Rusty Wallace out of the championship scrub for now. We don't have to worry about Wallace at all. Earnhardt continues to go down the straightaway here. Tim Richmond holding it down tight. He needs to get around that 3 car. And you could definitely tell that Earnhardt doesn't have the speed he did. Not anymore. Does Richmond have the speed he did, though? No. And by the way, while we've been mentioning everything, I think the 9 has gone into pit road. He has. So Elliott is now making a pit stop. So he will not lead every lap today, as 2 laps have just been led by Darrell Waltrip. Whoa! Rim riding! Ken Reagan, I don't know what he was doing there. Here comes Elliott out onto the track. He's got fresh tires. Ooh! Almost contact there. Richmond barely avoided it as we're seeing leaders dive off into pit road one by one. Richmond looking for a way around Dale Earnhardt. He goes into turn 1 looking for it. He's gonna get it. Or will he? No, he won't. Richmond doesn't have it. He might have to pass Earnhardt on pit road. You have to figure he might. They'll probably want to fix that damage that's on the right side of the 3 car that happened after that side swipe. Yup. Right now, not Terry Labonte, Sterling Marlin in front of him, that's the leader actually. So you're taking a look at the current 3 leaders of this race. Oh wow. So actually, the points lead difference is not 52 right now. It's 53. Earnhardt getting on the brakes. I think the 25's coming down to pit road, folks. There he goes. Richmond dives off into pit road. Earnhardt is right on the back of the 44. Right on the back of the 44. Will Earnhardt get a lap lead here? 5 bonus points. That's all I'm going to say is 5 bonus points. They're oh so crucial. Earnhardt goes to pit road. Sterling Marlin is the sole survivor out here. And it looked like he just let the 17 go by. I thought for a second that the 44 was out of fuel there for how slow it was going. It's clearly not out of fuel. He's coming down to pit road right now. Here, Richmond easily beating Earnhardt off of pit road. Wow. Easily beating Earnhardt off of pit road, and Earnhardt's going to be on pit road for a while, it seems. That's huge for Richmond. When pit stops cycle through, who's the leader? I'm trying to cycle through and try to figure out who the leader is right now. It should still be Elliott. Coming on down, it indeed will be Elliott. In second, I think will be the 17. Waltrip in third. We have the 11. So there's the 11. And then it's the 26. Oh, where's the 26? There he is. There's the 26. So actually, Tim Richmond's a lap down. And Earnhardt is ahead of Tim Richmond. Okay, then. Earnhardt is way ahead of Tim Richmond somehow, some way. Okay. Not gonna dispute the scoring here, but Tim Richmond is definitely. Earnhardt should be 2 laps down right now. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Meanwhile, we got a car smoking. 57, Morgan Shepherd. It's going to clearly bring it down. No, he's not a backstretch pitter. Front stretch. Earnhardt looking to get around the 2. He's got him. Well, Elliott's got a 7.5+ second lead, so I'm really not going to pay much attention to Bill Elliott's massive lead. We know that he's way out in front. What I am going to pay attention to right now is the points race. Here's your points leader, Dale Earnhardt. He currently has a 52-point advantage. Wait a second, maybe a 52-point advantage. I think they're far enough down where it's only a 51-point advantage. One of the two. I think they're far enough down where there's only a 51-point advantage between these two. Now this is bad news because if Earnhardt can get around Brett Bodine here, that'll push the points advantage up to 55. Can't happen. Yeah, they absolutely can't have that happen. And here you go. Earnhardt's going around. Easily back up. 55 points ahead. Yep, no doubt. Meanwhile, here's Tim Richmond. Here's someone who absolutely can't afford to lose any points to Dale Earnhardt. Yep, I mean, you're completely 100% right on that, but Earnhardt's way up there. He's got a full straightaway of a lead right now on Tim Richmond. That's about 5 seconds. And man, that is just a huge difference. And that's just going to be so hard to make up. You can't even make up that difference on pit road. It's just going to be so hard for Richmond to make all that time up. And here Richmond, he's going to pass the lead lap car of Terry Labonte. So clearly Richmond's got a fast car. And now Earnhardt's going to really bury the hatchet here if he can get around Bobby Allison. That will put him in a position where he's 59 points ahead of Tim Richmond if he can get around Allison. Risky business going on here. And there you go, he's around Allison. 59 points. Easy there, Earnhardt. Oh, Brett Bodine let him by, so 55 points once. No, it'll be 56 points. So there you go. 56 points is the difference now. Richmond's got to reel in Earnhardt somehow. The good news here is that Sterling Marlin is way, almost a half a lap up on Dale Earnhardt. So Richmond doesn't have to worry about Earnhardt advancing another position here. He just needs to focus on getting around Bobby Allison in these last 50 laps of this race. Plus, Tim Richmond's in the top 10, which would satisfy him for having his 22nd top 10 of the season, which is ridiculous. Well, Earnhardt's also getting his ridiculous 21st top 10 of the season with this race as well, barring any other odd occurrences. It's also so obvious that Tim Richmond's got a fast car. I mean, he's running down his teammate Darrell Waltrip, and he's in second place. And of course, nobody's reeling in that 9 car. Nope. 10-second lead does Elliott have. He's way out in front. He's gonna end up winning this race. That's not the story. Right now the story is the points championship. It's looking really good for an Earnhardt, third Earnhardt championship after this race. It's looking really good for it. Larry Pearson slowing up Earnhardt a little bit. Now having to make up 52 points in, well, right now 56 points in 2 races. 48 points in 3 races, that seemed doable. 52 points, now that it's gotten around Bobby Allison. 52 points in 2 races, no. That's really difficult. I mean, Earnhardt's going to have to finish outside of the top 10 in a race that Richmond wins. And that's going to be the only hope for a Tim Richmond championship here. Richmond trying to become the first back-to-back champion since Darrell Waltrip did it in 1981 and 1982. Earnhardt trying to become the first 3-time champion since Waltrip in '85. He'll join the likes of Cale Yarborough, who won 3 championships in a row in the 70s, David Pearson, who won 3 championships, and and Richard Petty, who has a record 7, count 'em, 7 championships. Alright, now Earnhardt's looking good for it. And again, here's Cale Yarborough. He's way up here. I wouldn't say that's way up there, folks, because here's Earnhardt here. Cale Yarborough's within striking distance. No doubt. And again, Richmond is a full straightaway behind that 3 car. Is there anything that he can do to reel in Earnhardt? And if he can't reel in Earnhardt, he needs to make sure that he only finishes one position behind Dale Earnhardt. Because if he doesn't, there's going to be a huge issue here where he's going to be well more than 50 points down heading into the final two races. I think there's going to be one more set of pit stops before this race is over. Don't guarantee me on that, but I think there's going to be one more set of pit stops before this race is over. So it is possible that Tim Richmond could end up killing it here on a final round of pit stops and coming back up near or maybe even in front of Dale Earnhardt. Well, that's looking less and less likely here now that we have just 30 laps to go here at Rockingham. We'll see if that's the case, but again, I just doubt it. I think we're going to see pit stops occurring around lap 100. We'll see. See. Yeah, here's Yarborough here. Here's Earnhardt. Oh boy. Here's Richmond. Richmond can only hope for obstructionist lap cars here, like Dave Marcus and Rodney Coombs. Of course, if Earnhardt pulls stuff like this, it's not going to matter. Today, it doesn't matter. And Cale Yarborough is right there. Yep. There goes Yarborough. He's now going to finish behind Earnhardt. And now Richmond has to play a game of catch Yarborough as quickly as you possibly can. Yep. He cannot afford to finish more than one position behind Dale Earnhardt. There's absolutely no situation where even just finishing behind Dale Earnhardt is acceptable. There's just no situation where that's even acceptable in this situation, honestly. I mean, Tim Richmond's going to have a huge hole to dig himself out of after this race. And even though the points race is probably going to remain really close, and I imagine the points margin is going to be well underneath 100 points for the season, the points margin only might end up being 20 or 30. But that's, I think, in the best case scenario now for Richmond, the points margin is going to end up being 20 or 30. Now, I wouldn't necessarily get too cocky about that because, well, here comes Richmond. And if Richmond is able to catch Dale Earnhardt, that would put Tim Richmond in an excellent position. Well, not an excellent position, but Cale Yarborough kind of screwing over Tim Richmond here. Big time! Wow! And yes, indeed, pit stops are happening again. I called it right around lap 100. As soon as lap 100 ticks around, who comes down pit road? Bill Elliott. So now all that ground that Tim Richmond just made up on Dale Earnhardt, he just lost because of Cale Yarborough. Man, just brake checked right in front of him. These guys are not giving him any favors. No, they're just sticking right in front of Tim Richmond. Look out! Oh, Michael Waltrip. Now Earnhardt's going to have a huge lead on Richmond, and there's a caution. What? Oh, don't even tell me. There's a caution, and your leader is the 44 of Sterling Marlin. That traps a huge amount of people a lap down. Oh my good lord. Elliott is still somehow on the lead lap. I don't know how that's possible. But look at the advantages of staying out. This is insane. Sterling Marlin, my good lord. All of a sudden, Earnhardt and Richmond are in the top 3, and Elliott's in 4th. Well, he's going to be first after this because of the pit stops, but oh, this is an absolutely crucial pit stop for Tim Richmond. He has to beat the 3-car out. No question, he has to beat the 3-car out. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. He doesn't do it. So who does that put your leader as, Senior? I think that's going to put the leader as the number 9. And here's Rudd. He'll be in 2nd. Put Sterling Marlin 3rd, Dale Earnhardt 4th, and Tim Richmond 5th. And all of a sudden, this is a high-stakes race. And it's not going to be a single-file restart either. This is going to be your standard double-file restart. Good lord. And we're going to have a lot of people lining up on the tail end of the lead lap. We're going to have the 17, the 55, the 14, and the 36. Well, maybe not. Maybe not the 14 and the 36. So the 17 of Darrell Waltrip and the 55 of Phil Parsons, they'll be restarting on the tail end of the lead lap. Your leader is the number 9 of Bill Elliott. So you're going to see them restart in the following order: 17, 55, 9, 26, 44, 3, 25, 7. And everyone else is going to the bottom lane. I honestly don't even care what the cause of that caution was. If this race were to end now, Dale Earnhardt would have a 53-point advantage. Oh, it looks like we've got a couple of other people that are also getting onto the outside line, including Bobby Allison and Terry Labonte. If this race were to conclude now, Dale Earnhardt would end up with a 53-point advantage on Tim Richmond. This amazing late race caution may put both Earnhardt and Richmond not just in the eligibility of getting a top 5, but potentially the eligibility of getting a win, and keeps Tim Richmond in the running for a phenomenal 20 top 5s in a season. That has not happened in the Throwbacks before, given we've only had 4 years of the Throwbacks, but that is still an accomplishment. Here comes the drivers to the line. Green flag is out. Jeff Bodine's leaving the bottom open. This is huge. Richmond needs to get to the bottom of Earnhardt now, and he is. He is going to absolutely seize the day. He doesn't have an option. Look at this. He's going to gain 2 positions here. And now he's going to try to split the middle, maybe? Nope. No room there. I mean, whoa, what's happening with the 9? Another caution. Oh, boy. Oh, Ricky Rudd just dumped into the inside retaining barrier. I think. Maybe he avoided it. I don't know. That was a crazy restart. Richmond did exactly what he needed to do. Oh, no doubt. Spin on the back straightaway, Rodney Coombs. If you're just wondering. Ooh, Harry Gant got up on 2 wheels against the wall there. Hey, Ernie Irvin. I'm not even going to ask. What is going on here? I think I can see the issue. I know what the issue is. And I hate when the AI glitches out like this, but Bobby Allison needs to let the 11 down so the 9 can go by. The 9 needs to get by the 11. There we go. And now everyone's going to go. There we go. Everyone gets situated. So Elliott's still got a stranglehold on the lead. Boy, I bet Tim Richmond wishes the race ends right now. I think another wish that Tim Richmond has is that this restart ends up going single file, because that'll give him a huge advantage here. I think the race, this restart should end up going single file. No, not quite. We're going to restart with 11 to go on lap 113. We'll find out, though. If the race were to end right now, and that might delay the caution for a while. That'll delay the caution. Or maybe it won't. Hold on, Skippy. Pace lights are still on. Everyone's lining up in double wide formation here, but it's very clear that the pace car is not coming in this lap. There's something wrong with Rodney Coombs here. Now we should end up restarting this race. Does the pace car duck in? I didn't think he would. Like, whoa, Skippy, the pace lights are still on. Chill, bruh. Now the pace lights are out. 11 laps to go on this restart. This will be the last double file restart that we have. Right now the points lead is 33 points between Dale Earnhardt and Tim Richmond. This is exactly what Richmond wants to see. If Richmond can get up into the lead and Earnhardt can stay just outside the top 5. Earnhardt could theoretically end up having to only gain 20 points or so in the next 2 races. These 2 cautions have been a complete savior to that 25 crew. We'll see if this restart plays out just as good as it needs to be. Pace car dives down into pit road. 11 laps to go. Who's it going to be? Green flag is out. Lap traffic doesn't budge at all. Who will budge? Tim Richmond. Can't get to the bottom. Earnhardt can't get to the bottom yet either. Earnhardt still can't get to the bottom. Richmond just trying to find some way to advance his position right now. He can't afford to lose it to Sterling Marlin either. Marcus let him go. Here we go. Earnhardt still stuck on the top lane. I thought Richmond was going to be going on an absolute fury there. And then Bobby Ellison got in the way. He won't be in the way down this straightaway. Nope. Richmond probably wants to catch that 26 machine. I can guarantee you he's got his eyes set right on it. Keep your eye on the 3 car. I mean, you can pretty much erase anything that I say about Richmond having a good race if that 3 car ends up finishing 1 position behind them. Because then the points lead will still be 43, and it's still a huge uphill battle. Right now, Earnhardt's having a hard time getting around Cale Yarborough back there. Elliott is gone once again. He shall go on to win here the AC Delco 500. Tim Richmond is coming. No doubt about it. 6 laps to go. Richmond wants to find a way around Rudd. Can he get there? Earnhardt down into 7th right now. Yeah, but Earnhardt not doing the greatest. Oh, Earnhardt's in 6th. He finally got around Cale Yarborough, but can he do better than 6th? Here comes Richmond. He wants to do better than 3rd. He's going to have the 2nd position. Right now, he's gaining 20 points on Dale Earnhardt. Put the lead at 28 points. If he can get to the lead, he can cut the points lead down to as little as 18. No, here comes Sterling Marlin now. Oh, Marlin trying to run spoiler, trying to get a 2nd place finish. He can't do it. Richmond cut him off. Now can Richmond run down Bill Elliott in just 3 laps? That probably isn't going to happen. Meanwhile, the line that Darrell Waltrip's on right now, that's going to allow Earnhardt to get into 5th. Make it a 15-point advantage that Richmond has. And Richmond really needs to come back for this win. Does not look like it's going to happen, though. Right now, it is all Elliott. Coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go. It is indeed all Elliott right now. Nothing you can do. No lapped cars ahead. Will Earnhardt will not get Ricky Rudd. Coming up off the corner. Elliott has won the AC Delco 500. Richmond second. Earnhardt fifth. Oh, wow. A 15-point gain for Tim Richmond. Huge. Absolutely huge. Still 33 points down. Man. Meanwhile, Bill Elliott has just won again. He's just won 2 in a row. I can't fault Elliott. That is just a great late season performance. I can't follow on that. So we take a look here. Oh, Tim Richmond won the last one. Okay, fine. Didn't win 2 in a row. Richmond won at North Wilkesboro. Then you had Elliott winning last time around. And now here's your point standings. 33 points separate Dale Earnhardt and Tim Richmond. 2 races to go. Man, this is going to be close. And look at this. Tim Richmond, 22 top 10s, tying the record set by Bill Elliott in 1984. 19 top 5s, obliterating Elliott's record of 18. And he still has a chance to keep on adding. This season is far from well, this season is definitely pretty close to being over. I shouldn't say that. But still, 2 races to go, and these 2 races will both be broadcasted tomorrow. We will find out who is the 1988 Throwbacks champion tomorrow. We'll see you then.